Okay. Hello. Thank you everyone for being here. Sorry we are running late. We just had an executive session, communicating ECLEC, which is our collection agency, or one of, I think one of them, right? So they were giving us an update. So I'd like to thank you for joining us today for our special meeting, December 20th, 2021. At this point in time, we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a minute of silence. I pledge allegiance
which stands one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And remain standing for a moment of silence for those missing in action and prisoners of war and anyone else who has passed away since we last met. And then, so we are ready for, I officially call this meeting to order, and we have a roll call.
Good evening. Councilor Tillis,
Happy holidays.
Councilor Phillips is here. Councilor Silver,
Present.
Councilor Blackwell, present. Councilor Glenn,
Present.
Councilor Burke,
Present.
Councilor Sadiq,
Here.
Councilor Ferrari,
Present.
Councilor Barnett,
Here.
Councilor Wagner,
Here.
and Council President Lynn.
Here. Great. Thank you. And also want to acknowledge that we have Mayor Pepper here. Solicitor Richardson is here. CA Ron Gioni is on YouTube with us, so he's joining us streaming. And then, can he see us? Yes. Okay, good. Municipal Clerk Cicchetti, Sergeant of Arms today.
Sam Savell.
Sorry, I didn't write it down. He was telling me, but I didn't write it down. So of course I forgot it by the time I had to say it. So thank you so much for joining us today. And then we have Treasurer Heyman and Deputy CAO Darby with us today. Great. Okay. Rules of meeting decorum. Upper Darby Township Council and residents will maintain professional respect for each other. Council encourages free speech, however, civility is required, which would prohibit threats, profanity, scandalous, impertinent, and redundant comment, or any comment with discernible purpose of which is to disrupt or prevent the conduct of business of the meeting. Okay, at this point in time, we are going to begin our public forum. Yep.
Ed Brown,
Hold on 1 second. We just got to prep our timers. Okay, we're ready.
Ed Brown, 7111 Pennsylvania Avenue. This is a message of appreciation. I want to thank Mayor Pepper, all of council, for the receipt of the Community Development Block Grant, and that's what we use to for our family holiday giveaway event. And we adopted 54 families, 119 children, and we supplied each family with a $100 gift card, supermarket gift card, and $200 for each family for toys. So it was a big endeavor. We had a lot of support. I want to specifically thank Councilwoman Hafiz Tunis, Michelle Billups, Councilwoman Michelle Billups, and Councilwoman Danielle Blackwell, who all shopped and wrapped gifts and they all supply families, so a big undertaking. Can you imagine how many gifts we had for 119 children? A massive undertaking. We had a lot of help, and we want to thank Taylor Made Vets and Richard Bly. He did a lot of shopping and sponsored families. He did a great job of wrapping gifts and supplying that. Olivia Taylor did a great job of availing herself for multiple days to help wrap gifts and organize everything. Pastor Goodson of the Blywood Community Association. Not only did he and his organization supply families, but he also allowed us to use Prayer Chapel, which is his church, as the staging area for all the gifts to wrap. So, you know, it was a blessing to have his facility to use to stage all the gifts and to wrap them, you know, a massive undertaking. We also use it as the pickup point. We did it on Saturday. We have about, I think, 7 families that we still need to do. Councilwoman Lisa Ferrelia sponsored families. We have a few gifts that we still need to deliver and get them to those families, and also for our piece as well. So thank you for sponsoring the families. You did last year as well, so thank you for that. Make sure I don't leave anybody out. Desiree Murphy from Murphy's Giving Market supplied families as well. She availed herself. She came to wrap gifts in between her appearance on Good Morning America. She availed herself and came and wrapped gifts and helped us, and even supplied some toys that we needed. Let's see, Councilman-elect Andrew Heyman and Councilwoman-elect Wagner, generous donation. Thank you for that. Thank you, really appreciate that. You supported our event. We hadn't even met one.
That's
So thank you for that. Councilman-elect Heyman, he supplied family, so, you know, he was very prompt in doing that, and it really helped our event be successful. And Allison Dobbins, I saved her for near the end, because Allison is just amazing. I'm sure you all know that, but Allison really helped us actually purchase the toys. We took over several Targets, not one Target, but the one in Springfield and the one by the mall. And Allison availed herself. She went with us to shop, and we took over several registers at Target, 21 carts full of toys, several days. I'm sorry. I promise I'm almost done. I just need 30 more seconds. And she availed herself, came there and helped us buy them. So thank you for that.
I do this for the mayor.
Right, yep. And, thank you, Mayor, for allowing us to have her services. She availed herself on her personal time to meet us and help us organize the toys and actually buy them and secure them. So that was great. So thank you for that.
Allison is amazing.
Right. And let's see, I think that's everyone. Last but not least, I want to thank my organization, Men of Action Brothers of Faith. We do a great, we try to do a great job. 700 families we fed on Thanksgiving, and now we adopted a whole bunch of families and made a lot of people happy for the holidays and may not have been able to provide their kids with toys. So we're very proud of the work we do. And I'm proud to be a member of the organization. And State Rep Curry made the appearance and stopped by and supported the event. So thank her for that. So that's all I have. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the extra time. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ed. Next is Olivia Taylor.
All right, I'm gonna start. Okay, Olivia Taylor, 204 Kent. I was really hoping Laura would not start our meeting off with a decorum. After what I said at the last meeting and how it is totally against our Constitution. But I know she just can't help herself. She's gonna do what she wants, even if it's a violation of our Constitution. We're starting a new year. This administration, I don't know who's the new president's gonna be. I don't care. You do not have the right to set a decorum and tell us what we can and cannot say behind this podium. It is a strike against our Constitution, and it needs to be removed. The courts has already ruled on this. Courtney, you're here, Ms. Richards. I'm gonna address you as Ms. Richards. You and Kilcuddy, y'all sitting here, overlook what she's doing. You sit here, get $30,000 a month, every month of our tax dollars to ignore her blatant disregard for our Constitution, and it has to stop. And I will hold your office accountable. If we're not going to go into the new year, I will file a complaint with the Bar Association. Do you understand? This is going to stop. It has to stop. You use our freedoms and liberties to get what you need, but then you want to come in here and take them from us? It's not going to happen. Okay, this is something to think about. If you guys wasn't doing anything wrong, we wouldn't have anything to say. Before I run out of my time, I want to talk about the 902 recycling grant. The CAO was listening. You had $340,000 grant to pick up the leaves. I have yet to see a truck, anything come through our neighborhoods. And you were approved for it, Mayor, $340,000 grant. What is the status?
This isn't a back and forth.
I just asked a question. What are you talking about?
We can get back to you later with the information.
You can't give me the status of this grant that was
Nope,
already
don't have it
approved?
on me right
I'm
now.
not talking to you. I'm talking to her.
Well, it's.
Excuse me, this is my time.
This is a council meeting.
I don't care. I asked her a question. Be quiet.
She doesn't have to answer.
Yes,
you.
she does. I am
No,
a
she doesn't.
resident.
It's a council
Stop
meeting.
talking.
It's a
Stop
council
talking.
meeting.
Stop talking
You
to me.
continue
Do
your
you not
your
understand
concerns,
English?
We
Is
will,
there something wrong with you? Are you under the influence tonight? Please stop talking. Please stop
that's
talking.
actually completely uncalled for and you are.
You
out of
won't
order.
be quiet. I asked the mayor a direct question.
She does not, doesn't have the answer for you. and
Well,
we'll
maybe
get
you
it to
can
you at a
answer it,
later
Ms.
date.
Richard. I don't want to hear from you, Laura. Be quiet.
You don't have no right to
Okay,
tell
be
me to
quiet.
but-
I asked y'all a question about a grant that was given to y'all.
Okay.
Our township is
Okay.
disgusting.
Richardson, please go ahead.
Or you continue with your comments.
Excuse me?
You can continue with your comments.
I asked you about the grant. Maybe you can answer me.
Absolutely not. Please
Why
continue
not?
with your comments.
Excuse me? You don't see this? This blatant disregard? $340,000 grant you were awarded to clean the leaves out of the township. $340,000. Nobody has an answer? Outrageous, all of you. What's the status of the audit, the 2020 audit? Why wasn't that submitted to the state? Or how about the finance director? What's the status of hiring this guy? Anybody?
You're out of time.
No, I'm not. No, I am not. Not until I get an answer.
Nope, you're out of time.
No, I'm
I added
not.
an extra
I'm sorry.
30 seconds to your
I am
time
not out of
because,
time. I would like an answer as a
Mr. Brown had gone
resident.
over, but, you're out of time.
No, I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not.
Okay, you're out of order then.
Well, I'm out of order. Now what? I asked this,
Your time is-
I asked
your
three
time is
specific
up,
questions.
And you're out of order.
Okay. No, it wasn't out of order when he sat up here for a
I told
minute.
you I added more time to your. to
No, you
your
didn't.
time. Yes, I did.
No,
I
you
just
didn't.
said I added more time to yours.
I
before my-
need
set my
questions
alarm.
to three specific important things that affect this neighborhood, that affect this
And
township.
we will get back to you on those questions. We
All
don't
of
have
you, you're
answers at this
outrageous.
time.
You're outrageous,
We don't
all
have-
of you.
And quite frankly, this is a special meeting and you're only, and quite frankly. I should-
You don't get to tell me what I can say, Laura. Be quiet. Be quiet, Laura. Be quiet. I think she's on medication. Something is wrong with you.
What is on the
Something is
agenda?
serious
So
wrong
you
with
are
you.
out of order.
Guess what? I'll be out of order
You're out of
again.
order.
So what? I'll be out of order
You're out of
again.
order.
Guess what? Shut up, Laura.
You're out of order.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Next is Megan Wagner.
My name is Megan Wagner. I live at 4924 Woodland Avenue. I'm here tonight in celebration of the members of council who are attending their last council meeting. Mr. Gwynn, I wish you the best. We don't know each other very well, but I wish you the best and thank you for your service to the township. To Don Bonnet, I really don't know what to say. You've given so much of your years to this township that frankly, I was 3 years old when you took office. I thank you for your leadership, for what you have taught me, and for being a pillar of this community. As the person who will be taking your seat, I hope that I can be half the councilman that you are and half the council person you were And I would consider myself a success, if I shoot, but I end up doing that. Again, I thank you for everything.
Thank you, Megan, for your comments. That's very kind of you.
Absolutely. Councilman Wagner, forgive me if I get a little emotional about this, as you all know, he is my father. I could not be more proud to be your daughter. You are one of my best friends. You are my champion and you are my hero. And above all, you've been my mentor, not only in the professional world, but in running for election. I thank you so much for everything you've done and for the person that you are. Thank you for instilling in me the ability to care for your community. And I just want you to know I love you so much. And I wish all three of you the best in the next chapter of your lives. Upper Darby Township, especially you, they're going to miss you. I thank you for allowing me to speak today, and I wish you all the best.
By the way, I love you too.
It was a wonderful tribute, giving people their flowers, that's why this is around. So thank you for that. Megan.
Thank you.
Next is Tom McCosey.
See my address. See my address, 303 North Oak Avenue. Post office. Madam Mayor, President of Council, members of council. Wish I was first. That's going to be a tough act to follow. I'm choked up also. I, like Megan, came to this council following my father's footsteps. Although I sat beside that gentleman there, Don Bennett, 1989, as a young 29-year-old councilman, Don, gave me a lot of effort and worked with me and taught me a lot about being a councilman at the time. Don and I, throughout the years, worked on many projects. The homeless, we were co-chair of the homeless community, created the homeless center, Home Depot project, changing the zoning code to allow such a $60 million project at the time in 1996 to come on board. Drexel line, open space, the trails. I mean, we spent some weeks probably more time with Don than he did with his wife and mine with mine. There was a lot of activities back there. And I want to thank you, Don, not only for that, but our families became long time friends, strong friends. And I've known you a long time. Your work ethic is second to none. And your community is going to be missed by you, but I know we have a good replacement to make. So I wish you well, my friend. And,
Thank you so much, Tom. And as former mayor, we did, and as former council person yourself, we did work a lot together. Did a lot of, made a lot of accomplishments. We tried many things together. And I just want to acknowledge too, you mentioned your father. When I first came on council, probably most of you don't know this, I sat right where Sadiq is. I was assigned to that seat for many years. Sitting here was Tom's father, Nick McCosey. He was still a councilman at that point in time, as well as being a state legislator. And Tom, I appreciate our friendship, and I thank you very much for the kind words that you made, and I look forward to continuing our good relationship together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was hoping Megan wouldn't have said how old.
She's only 21 now.
In fairness, I didn't say how old I was.
And Bob, I know you're leaving also. I can tell you, I worked well with you. You stood up for the residents. I know there were some votes that were tough for you, but you always had the residents at heart. And you're a good Christian man. I know what you do behind the scenes for a lot of people. And I know your family. I know you're looking forward to spending some time and taking some trips to see your daughter. So I hope we remain friends for a long time. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Now, my friend Tom Wagner, my finance guru over here, who jumped on me a few times about overspending and some budgets and some line items and got them back in order for me. But Tom was a pencil guy who stood behind the scenes, very quiet, but really strong in his words and strong in his vision as far as making sure that the township ran on its railroad tracks as far as financial stability, and did a lot with his legal expertise and helped me a lot along the way, just from his experience in the courtroom and experiences in the legal profession. But more than that, Tom's a good friend, same thing, family, we became family friends. We did a lot of talking, a lot of eating together. You'll probably lose a couple pounds. I did after you leave. But I think what's important here is that if we can learn from those years as working together, I know we were all here together. Barb was here, Laura was here, and I think we accomplished great things. I think as a nation and as a local community, I think we have to move forward for what's the best interest of the residents. And I think some of this strike that's going on has carried on throughout. I think if we can all do that, we all live here, we care about this community. I've been here 64 years of my life and I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm sure Tom and Don feel the same way. So I'm sure you all feel the same way. So good luck, Godspeed, and let's keep in touch. Thank you.
Tom,
Thank you for your
thank you
time.
very much.
Thank you.
I'd like to say before you walk away that I'm really proud to say Tom McCosey's one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. And I mean
Thank
that.
you, Pat.
I really, really mean that. And yeah, Don and I are stepping off the council, but I know my wife is sitting right out there in the audience. We're not going anywhere. And of course, my daughter's not, and our family therefore is not. So I hope to stay in touch with you in particular,
Absolutely.
but everybody in this room.
Soon goes your growth also. So thank you.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Thank you to all the speakers. We greatly appreciate what you have to say. If you did ask any questions, we will get the answers back to you. Okay, so next up, we have the Honorable Mayor Barbara Ann Pepper, and we have some appointments today, right? I just wanted to, I guess I'll sound like I'll be piling on here, but I do want to speak about our outgoing council members, Tom Burnett, Tom Wagner, and Bob Flynn. It's been really nice working with you all for the last 8 years. And I'll just say a couple of quick things about each of you that I really appreciate. Don, you always come to the meetings very well prepared and very professional. And I feel like just watching you has been really interesting and good. I wish I was as calm as you always seem to be. And I'm sure you'll be helping our council-elect first district, Megan, also, just teaching her the ropes. And I think it's going to be great. I know that you're not going anywhere, and I appreciate you a lot. Tom, your sense of humor is probably what's going to be most missed, especially your delivery on certain things, but also just, you work hard, you've always represented your constituents, and, you're going to be missed, but I know you're not going away. And Bob,
Thank you. Thank you.
Bob and I have been friends for a very long time, and Bob does an amazing amount of volunteer work outside of this. He's also represented his constituents wholeheartedly and consistently, and if you follow through until something is completed, like the lights that are going to go up around Beverly Hills Middle School is like the best example I can think of. And so I have some plaques for you guys, and then if you, Bob also did this too. He went to every zoning hearing board meeting as a member of the zoning committee, which is like amazing. So, and then always took your community assignments very seriously.
And
So-
also, we also have a window at the very end of the meeting to officially congratulate them. Actually, it's actually on the agenda,
Mayor.
number 8.
Yes, okay, I'm just saying that. All right, can you guys wait till the end of the meeting? No? Do the plaques? Okay, we'll go now. All right, well, it's on the agenda for a reason.
Why don't you guys come down to the center so that
All right, everybody, you guys sit down.
I'm so sorry.
I do it right in front of the camera here. Councilman Bonnet, would you like to?
Sure.
Look at yourself.
Thank you. Sure.
You guys,
Great,
thanks for everything.
great, great. Thank you, Mayor.
There's
Really
one more
appreciate it.
facing me, Councilman. You're welcome. Mayor,
more?
Councilman. One more facing me, sorry.
Oh, I got
Okay.
That's great. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Turn it around.
it. Yeah.
Step this way so they can see you.
Steph, where? Which-
This way.
I go here.
Here we go. All right, ready? Look at you. All right, and one more from me. Thank you.
Lauren, thank you so much. Really. Wonderful. Yeah.
What's here? All right, one more. I don't want to stand it though. Gentlemen, all three of you?
Mayor, get in the middle. There you go.
One, two, three. Step aside, so you're public.
You're public, yeah.
Good job, Jerry.
Keep it, you're public.
Camera's not working.
You can tell he's smiling.
There you
Okay, one more time, thank you. Doesn't matter if you smile or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
It did so.
Thank you, Al.
So, thank you to, the council members, we have something else, planned for you a little bit later as well, so.
Thank you. Very much.
So don't leave, so you can't, don't leave.
Thank you very much.
So, Erin, you want to talk about your appointments?
Sure, yeah, we have a lot of appointments at the end of the year, terms are up for a number of our boards and, boards and commissions.
Don't fully put them away.
We have a resolution put together, with all the appointments, we'll start with the library board. Kerry Robinson is being reappointed to the library board, he's been currently serving a term that expired at the end of this month. Alan Simon and Judith Ortiz are new appointments to the library board, and they're dedicated members of our community. Historical Commission, we have Sean McNichol, who many people might know as one of the owners of the, no, I can't think of, they run the shop at Arlington. The Guardian and then, I'm sorry,
Is it the greenhouse?
at the greenhouse, yeah. He's also a resident, and appreciated council supports his appointment as well as everybody else's here. Carolyn Faulkner Bitzel, is appointed to a 3-year term expiring on December 31st, 2024. Mercedes Powers currently serves on the Historical Commission, and she's filling out somebody else's term, but I would like her to be reappointed. And then for the zoning hearing board, Deborah Woodard, who's been serving as the alternate, I would like her to be appointed for a 3-year term expiring New Year's Eve in 2024. And then for the Darby Creek Twin Authority, I've nominated Jeff Roken. He is currently on the Muffin and Pattis Authority. And we just didn't get nobody put their name in for it. It's kind of an obscure authority, but he's an engineer and he's well versed in this, and he's agreed to serve on that board or that authority, if the council so wishes. And I think he'll be a great addition, representing Upper Darby on the board as well.
Wait, so he'd be on both boards?
He'll be on both boards. Looking at Pattis is up in another couple of years, and hopefully by then, that'll give us some more time to find somebody else.
Great. No problem.
So,
Solicitor, was there anything else you wanted to introduce the resolution on? So it's resolution 62-21 that Mayor Kemper just basically went through.
Absolutely. Thank you, President Wentz. This is a resolution of the Upper Darby Township, Delaware County, appointing members of the Library Board, the Historical Commission, and the Zoning Hearing Board. The Library Board, Alan Simon is appointed to complete an unfilled term expiring December 31st, 2022. Judith Ortiz is appointed to complete an unfilled term expiring December 31st, 2023. Perry Robinson is appointed for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2024. Historical Commission, Sean McNichol is appointed for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2022. Carolyn Faulkner Beitzel is appointed for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2024. Mercedes Powers is appointed for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2024. Zoning Hearing Board, Deborah Woodard is appointed for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2024. Darby Creek Authority, Jeff Wilkin is appointed for a 5-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. Children's reading.
Great, thank you. Can we get a motion to approve resolution 62-21?
I'd like to make a motion. Second.
I heard Gwynn and Blackwell first, then Tunis. Are there any questions or concerns on this resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say your name. Thank you. Ayes have it.
Council President, for the record, I'm abstaining from this vote.
Oh, okay. So then you need to send
A letter
a
to,
letter to Alexis.
I certainly will. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. Ayes have it. Next up, we have. We had. Great, and then heading into the committee reports, planning, zoning. And building. Code Committee, co-chairs Gwynn Jr. and Philip, members Bonnet and Tunis Jr. We have resolution 60-21. Can we get a reading on the resolution?
Thank you, President Wentz. This is a resolution of Upper Darby Township, bringing preliminary/final development plan approval to the Upper Darby School District for Beverly Hills Middle School athletic field improvements at 1400 Garrett Road. Typically, we do not read the whereases. However, counsel for the school district, Mr. Stoll, did point out that we have a minor discrepancy in the 4th whereas, which I will read the proper clause to council. Whereas Upper Darby Township has previously vacated Ecole Avenue to the applicant, and therefore as a vacated road, Ecole Avenue is not part of the property. President Wentz, if you don't mind, I would just like to read the 14 conditions.
Sure.
Thank you. Now therefore be it resolved by the Upper Darby Township Council that the plan is hereby granted preliminary/final land development plan approval, subject to the satisfaction of the following conditions. Number 1, prior to recording of the plan, applicant shall address the comments and conditions contained in the December 20, 20th, 2001, MG engineering review letter to the satisfaction of the township engineer. Number 2, prior to reporting the plan, applicant shall address the comments and conditions contained in the December 14, 2021 Albert Federico Consulting LLC traffic engineering review letter to the satisfaction of the township traffic engineer. Number 3, prior to reporting the plan, the applicant shall address all applicable comments contained in the August 20th, 2021 Delaware County Planning Department review letter to the satisfaction of the township engineer. Number 4, applicant shall comply with all conditions of zoning approval as required by the Upper Darby Township Zoning Hearing Board's December 13, 2021 decision. Number 5, applicant must obtain any necessary approvals and reviews from the township engineer, township traffic engineer, Delaware County Planning Department, Pennsylvania DEP, PennDOT, or any other necessary outside agency, and obtain any necessary planning modules, approvals, or permits before the plan is recorded. Number 6, applicant shall obtain any zoning relief necessary to comply with any conditions imposed by the Upper Darby Zoning Hearing Board. Number 7, applicant must complete all required easements and/or maintenance agreements or declarations, including but not limited to a stormwater management facilities operation and maintenance agreement in form satisfactory to the township engineer and township solicitor prior to reporting the plan. Applicant will provide all necessary legal descriptions for any necessary easements. Number 8, a revised reportable plan shall ultimately be submitted for township administrative review and approval that addresses all requests for further plan details, additions, corrections, and clarifications set forth in the above mentioned review letters. Number 9, prior to recording the plan, applicant shall execute a land development agreement and financial security agreement drafted by the township solicitor and post financial security in the form of a letter of credit, tri-party agreement / set aside account or cash escrow in a form approved by the township solicitor. Number 10, all reasonable outstanding township fees, township's engineering fees, township's legal fees, and any other professional fees associated with the review and approval of the application and plans shall be paid in full before the plan is recorded in accordance with Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code. Number 11, prior to recording the plan, applicant shall deposit a reasonable sum to be determined by the township engineer and cash escrow with the township as to be further described in the land development financial security agreements for the reimbursement of the township's reasonable engineering, inspection, legal, and related administrative costs and expenses related to further reviews, inspections, and development of the project. Number 12, applicant shall mitigate light, glare, and sound impacts that may emanate beyond the fields and impact neighboring residences and the public streets to the satisfaction of the township engineer, and shall comply with the lighting plan approved by the township engineer. Applicant shall install fencing to the satisfaction of the township engineer. 13, the elevated lighting for the athletic field shall be required to be turned off before 10 p.m. and shall remain off until sunrise unless authorized by the township in writing. Number 14, to the extent practical or otherwise permissible, or unless otherwise reserved for specified time, for the use of the Upper Darby School District or district's permittees, the tracks installed as part of the project shall be available and accessible for public use without charge or reservation. Waivers. The following requested waivers from the township subdivision and land development are hereby approved or denied as indicated, and failure to provide any indication on the executed version of this resolution shall indicate that the waiver was approved. Number 1, this is a waiver of section 300.1, that the preliminary plan and final plan shall be considered separate submissions is hereby approved or denied. Number 2, section 805.C4 to permit non-residential driveway entering off Garrett Road not to meet the requirement for 3-car stacking is hereby approved or denied. This resolution shall bind the applicant's successor, and his signs. This resolution does not and shall not authorize construction of improvements or buildings exceeding those shown on the plans, and applicant shall be required to report the plan prior to proceeding with any land development. Furthermore, this resolution and approvals and conditions contained herein shall be rescinded automatically upon the applicant's or applicant's agent's failure to accept in writing all conditions herein imposed within 7 days of receipt of this resolution, such acceptance to be evidenced by the applicant's or applicant's agent's signature below.
Thank you.
So is the reading.
Thank you.
Good evening, Andrew Stoll on behalf of the school district. Mr. Richardson, that was a mouthful, so I'll give you just a little bit of brief. There is just the one change. I would respectfully suggest just one additional change. Whereas the whereas section says Upper Darby Township has previously vacated Ecole Avenue to the applicant. I would suggest also striking to the applicant as it's been vacated. The road's been extinguished and taken out. It's really not part of the substantive of what you're voting on, but just kind of semantics that I could pick up on. But with me here tonight is Marvin Lee and you, Chad Rowe.
Wait, are you?
Thank you, Council. I really appreciate it. I will make the correction.
Thank you. If there's any questions, the district's happy to answer.
Yes.
I have a question. One of the statements said that it was open to the public. How can one field be open to the public and another field in the school district not open to the public, where you have to go through Facilitron to get a permit? So once you get a permit to play field hockey on a field, then that field does not become open to the public. Am I correct? Due to safety reasons?
That's correct. So the field will be open to the public either based on the permit that we provide or when we are giving you the window of time that's going to be open to the public.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure, because it said open to the public, and really not, because you have to fill out a permit.
Well, I mean, so we're gonna open the field, we're gonna announce the time that's gonna be open to the public, so the public can come to the field and walk the field. And in that time period, we're not gonna be allowing the permit to be approved.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Clarification, Council, you made a very good point. It's the school district or the district's permittees. So that's, and then in other cases, then it's open to the public. So just for clarification regarding your system using the filter.
Thank you.
Councilman Tunis?
Yeah, just piggybacking off that, I was wondering if you all can make a note to get the schedules for the fields, all fields that are open to the public and rent it out, and if you can communicate that to council leadership, just so, because we're coming extension. Yeah. I'm trying to get the word out and stuff.
That's on the Facilitron.
Yeah, no, I said that.
Yes, but getting the schedule back.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I appreciate that comment. So one big thing, and I'll just say this globally with respect to all the district's projects, and there's been a number of them in the last couple of years, is it's the district's intention to whatever they create, be it a field, a school, things of that nature, they want it to be a community asset. However, you have to understand it in the sense, the district is kind of constrained because we can't say, even during school when there's recess and we're using the fields, come walk the park or anything like that, because there's some interesting people out there and we need to separate that. So to be clear, and I'll Mr. Lee confirm this, but it's the district's intention to, make this part of the community.
Yeah, I was just asking for something along the lines of, either if you do it quarterly or yearly, however, these different routes, just so the public knows, because everyone doesn't have access to Facilitron, and they may not be able to see when the field is in use.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anyone else have any questions for these gentlemen? Not seeing anyone. Thank you. We're gonna move forward on voting, and if anyone has any more questions, you're here. So one question is, Mike Galante here, or just a general question of, was he good with the waivers? Yes. Okay, great. I just wanted to verify that. So, great. I just wanted to double check, because he normally chimes in on the waivers.
Now,
Yes, Councilman Wagner?
I just thought it should be noted, the lack of questions should not be misinterpreted as a lack of interest. I mean, we think this is a great project. I think just about everybody on this council thinks it's a really good project, just like the Drexel Hill Middle School project is. And we applaud the school district, often the target of something other than applause from me. But this is really good stuff for the community, and I believe anyway, practically all of us, or maybe exactly all of us, are really glad about it.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you, Councilman Martin. Great. So can we get a motion to approve resolution 60-21 along with
You got to-
can you let me finish my sentence? I love you, but still, you drive me crazy, because if you let me finish my sentence, as we've done it before, can we get a motion to pass resolution 20-21 and waivers 1 and 2?
So moved.
Thank you. Blackwell. Am I correct, Solicitor, that we can do that, because I know we've done it in the past?
That is correct.
Thank you. Great, so we would be voting on the waivers to approve the waivers and approving the resolution as a whole, as amended, as the solicitors have pointed out, the corrections. Okay, are there any other questions or concerns on this resolution or its waivers? All righty, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say your name, or abstain, say your name. Great, thank you, unanimous. We thank you and appreciate your time. So we will have to get a most updated, corrected one, probably tomorrow, and then we'll sign it, or, yeah, then we'll sign it.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And on behalf of the district, congratulations to the outgoing council members.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
Great, so next up, we have the Finance and Appropriations Committee, co-chairs Gwynn Jr. and Silva. We have members Blackwell and Burke. We have a public hearing on ordinance number 3108. Can we get a brief on this ordinance?
Thank you, President Wentz. This is the ordinance of the Township of Darby, fixing the tax rate for the year 2022, and appropriating specific sums is estimated to be required for the specific purpose of the municipal government. Section 1 is that a tax be and the same is hereby levied on all property and occupations within the township subject to taxation for the township purposes for the fiscal year 2022 as follows. Tax rate for general fund purposes, the sum of 12.551 mils on each $1,000 of such valuation. For that purposes, 0.63 mils. I apologize. For a total tax rate of 13.414. Section 2, providing for the fees for collection of disposal of refuse set forth in section 461-18 of the Code of Ordinances. The owner of record of any residence building shall be charged a sum of $280 for each dwelling unit contained as residence building for the collection of refuse from the residence building. Section 3, increasing the sewer rates and charges set forth in section 454-1 Cat A of the Code of Ordinances for said rental or charge based upon the following rates in accordance with the following classifications. Single family dwelling unit, $245, apartment unit, $245, apartment house for each apartment unit, $245, public, business, commercial, or industrial users for the first 60,000 gallons of water annually, $245, amending section 454-1 Cat B, public, business, commercial, or industrial users shall pay at the rate of $245 per unit. Section 4 sets forth the expenses for the fiscal year 2022 and the following amounts hereby appropriated from the revenue available for the current year for specific purposes set below, which are more fully itemized in the budget form. There is a repealer and a certain clause, so it's the reading of the summary.
Great, thank you. At this point in time, I'd like to open the public hearing for ordinance number 31-08. Anyone would like to speak on this specific ordinance, please step forward to the podium. Please state your name and your address. Anyone who would like to speak on this ordinance? Is there anyone who would like to speak on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, this public hearing is officially closed. Can we get a motion to approve ordinance number 3108?
Second.
Are there any questions or concerns from council on this ordinance? Councilman Silver?
Yes, I do. On section 3, item 4, what happens above 60,000 gallons of water used by commercial or industrial users? What happens to that? Is there like an additional charge beyond that?
There's the additional charge that's set for private ordinance. I think I don't have it on me. I can pull it up for you.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns on the ordinance? Okay, seeing none, can we get a roll call vote?
Thank you. Councilman Timmons,
Yes.
Councilman Littleton, yes. Councilman Silver,
Yes.
Councilman Blackwell. Yes. Councilman Gwen,
Yes.
Councilman Burt,
Yes.
Councilman Sadiq,
Yes.
Councilman Ferrari,
No.
Councilman Barnett,
Yes.
Councilman Wagner,
No.
and Council President Lee.
Yes. So nine, great. So this ordinance passes. Next up, we have a public hearing for ordinance number 3109. Can we get a brief on this ordinance?
Thank you, Council President. This is a ordinance authorizing that part of the certain unencumbered appropriations allocated by the 2021 operating budget and transferred from various departments and agencies to other departments and agencies within the township. Section 1 provides a listing of all the departments that appropriations transfer from, which includes public works, public works vehicle maintenance, public works park maintenance, license and inspection, fire, miscellaneous, L&I health, human services, information technologies, public works construction, and legislative body totaling an amount of $2,096,000. Going to park enforcement, human resources, administrative services, L&I planning and zoning, highway fund, executive, parks and recreation, public works, electrical, HUD, CAO, financial administration, emergency management, for a total of $2,096,000. So this is the summary.
Great, thank you. At this point in time, I'd like to open the public hearing for ordinance 3109. Please state your name and your address.
Olivia Taylor, 204 Kent. I'm not understanding, $290,000 transferred to the CAO. For what? $110,000 to the executive office. $424,000 to the financial administration. And then you have this one that's really getting me because you just said the money is going to be transferred inside the township, but you got down here $192,000 transferred to HUD. HUD is a federal funded government program. So why is township money being funded to HUD? Could it be that the mayor is on the community action board? I'm not understanding this. That's a federally funded program. Don't need the township's money. But $192,000 is going where she sits on the board at. Okay.
Deputy CEO, would you like to respond to any of these questions?
Certainly, Council President Wentz. So first of all, HUD is just simply the name of the quote unquote department, like the budget line for the community development block grant. So that's certainly not going to any specific organizations. The council has already approved what that appropriation is in terms of CDBG. Honestly, the only reason that additional money needs to be transferred into the HUD, the CDBG line, is because we received additional money and therefore spent additional money. So the money comes in the revenue side, it's now spent on the appropriation side, and that's why we need to cover that expense. It's mostly related to how the charter contemplates this whole situation.
Okay, so in the 290,000 transferred to the CAO,
Yes, so there was some under budgeting in terms of some of the professional services that were utilized this year.
okay. What is the executive, 110,000 for?
Executive refers to the mayor's office, and again, there were some additional mailings, so the calendar, there were several mailings that came out of executive, as well as one additional salary and a few other expenses. So overall, the projection from the finance team was that that is what would be needed to cover for the year.
And lastly, the 424,000 financial administration, what is that?
So that's the Department of Finance and the temporary help that they've required, as well as some of the costs related to the transition off of the AS 400. So some of the consultants that we use as it relates to that transition.
102,000 to human resources?
I'm sorry, I don't see that.
It's the second one down.
I see 30,000, that's why.
It's
30,000.
30,000.
Okay. Correction, madam. All right. So what's the 102,000 for?
I don't see 102,000. What I see is appropriations transferred from, so that's money that was not used and
Okay.
needed to be reappropriated elsewhere.
All right, thank you.
Yes, so that was over here. Okay, anyone else from the public have a question or concern on this ordinance?
Yes, David Dryden, I reside at 1114 Vermont Road. I'm really confused about this ordinance. The last meeting I was at, it said that there would be a public posting of this ordinance. I don't know if that was done. I don't understand where this money is coming from. You said it's under budgeted or whatever. Where is that $2 million coming from?
It's coming from these different departments where not only did they stay within their budget line, their budget from 2021, they were below their budget. They didn't use all the funds that were technically budgeted to them for 2021. Where other departments went over their budgeted line, what was budgeted to them for 2021. So the home rule charter requires that we do an adjustment of unencumbered funds from one department to the ones that go over.
And
So that's what this
which
is.
departments were under budgeted?
The ones that were
That
on the
didn't use
top,
the money.
where the funds are getting taken from,
Yes,
are the ones that were under budget.
right. Which departments are there?
It's listed. Public Works,
I don't have
Vehicle
copies.
Maintenance, Public Works, Parks Maintenance, License and Inspections, Fire, Miscellaneous, L&I Health, Human Services, Information Technologies, Public Works Construction, Legislative Body. That's council,
That's where, who didn't use their budget?
who didn't use all of their budget.
And what about the police department?
The police department is not on it,
Then why is not some of that money going to the police department?
because they worked within their budget and they do not need any funds.
What about, was the contract finalized?
I do not believe so. I believe it's in arbitration.
So what happens if they need more money for that?
They already have that figured out within the 2021 budget. All of the contracts the amounts are technically figured out within the budget.
Because if I understood from the last meeting we were at, that was not the case. So I just wondered if something changed.
I believe that it's in the 2021 budgets, but Deputy CAO, would you like to clarify?
I'm sorry, so your question is why isn't police covered in this ordinance?
My question is at the last meeting when this was first brought up, that the contract for the police department was not yet finalized, and it was brought up by some council people that, what if you need money for that? Where's that gonna come from?
Yes, so there was an original introduction of this ordinance. There were revisions, and that was one of the revisions, is we decided to leave the police budget completely intact. And in anticipation, that was a priority of council and the administration. And so that's why you don't see it covered in this version of the ordinance, and this is the version that is before council for.
That's fair. I'd also like to know, since you guys ran on transparency, what the CAO department is gonna use all that money for.
So there are a lot of professional services that hit the CAO's budget. Certainly, I don't have in front of me a printout or a line item of every single area that we've ever spent, but I can tell you that it was largely had to do with a variety of professional services.
But wouldn't that be important to know what those things are? And one of the points I'm getting to is some of the bonuses that were given out, why they were deserved if we had to move money around. If that makes sense.
What bonuses?
The CAO was getting a $10,000 bonus.
It was.
No.
It's not a bonus.
No,
It's not a bonus? That's what was stated at the last meeting.
no,
It was bonuses. The
it
CAO
it
got
wasn't
10,
a
she got
bonus, it was
5,000.
an adjustment to his salary, it wasn't a
It
bonus.
was a $10,000 bonus. She got 5,000, he got 10,000.
No,
Yes,
no,
it was.
but, no. If you wanted to speak.
Okay.
And then is there anywhere, because I looked and I can't find it, there's a lot of money that we talk about and I don't see that the constituents of this township and residents are able to see where that money is spent.
Specific to what?
Any of the money. Since this administration took over, there's been no public budget or treasury report or anything. So
Actually, there's a treasury report every single month.
And where is that
the third-
posted?
The third Wednesday of the month, our treasurer gives a report. And the report is actually also often attached to the agenda. And actually, that started in 2020,
Okay.
January 2020.
All right, well, if it helps the council, I would like if you guys didn't adopt this. It just gives the appearance of impropriety and that's the thought, so.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to ask a question? Please state your name and your address.
Olivia Taylor, 204 Kent. I am with the gentleman who just like, got the name. And this is just too much improprieties, and it's a lot of money going to the CAO direction. And it was. Allison got $5,000 bonus, and he got a $10,000 bonus. And now you're directing $290,000 his way. This executive office, I mean, this is outrageous. This makes absolutely no sense at all. 110,000, 424,000. I mean, it looks like all the money is just going towards the CAO and, you know, the junior CAO here. And it's not being transparent. You may have other things going on in the office, but it doesn't take damn near $250,000 to do it. Almost $1 million. 400, 2, 3, plus $1 million here. Going directed towards the CAO's office.
Madam President.
Yes, no.
Ms. Taylor, I think it's important for the public not to get the wrong impression here. Frankly, I'm against this ordinance, I'm gonna vote no on it, but there should not be a public impression that these amounts are compensation to people like the CAO and the deputy CAO or the mayor or the council president or anybody else. These aren't amounts being paid to those people.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a lot of money going in that direction
Okay.
and they're not explaining it. You know what I mean?
And
So
I appreciate that.
if people makes that assumption, that's on them. That's not what I'm saying.
I don't
They're not-
want people to make that
Okay.
assumption, because it
I
would be
can't,
wrong.
you
It
can't
just- it
stop,
would be
you can't
incorrect.
stop people from assuming. I'm only stating what I see.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Nothing directed at you, sir. You know I love you, but this is ridiculous.
I know it
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
directed at me, and I wasn't
Okay.
suggesting that at all.
I
I just
appreciate-
wanted to prevent the
Okay.
public impression from being incorrect or being misinterpreted, that's all.
But I mean, looking at this raises red flags. Hello?
Okay.
Common sense. I mean, you can look at it. It doesn't. Maybe it's just me. Okay. But they care enough about the township to find out where the money's going.
I know you care about the township, and I appreciate that. And I'd like you to know I have great respect for that.
And, you know, you take from our first responders, not one thing mentioned, and even though you just said you separated it, still, I mean, I'm not understanding this. And
Council
they should be
President,
included.
can I interject? I apologize, but this item is actually to appropriate funds from the budget that is closing this year.
Okay,
So it is not for next year, like, because one of the gentleman's concerns was, well, what if the contract gets ratified? But that would be for 2022. Any increases in compensation for anyone would be also next year. That's 2022. This is only for the remainder of 2021 to kind of basically like correct issues where, right, when you make a budget, right? You know, like, 'cause I got a little one at home. You make a budget, you assume, oh, I'm gonna spend X number of dollars on shoes, but suddenly they grow really quick and you need to buy 2 more pairs of shoes.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're just like, well, we're gonna take money out of Matt's hat budget, we're gonna put it in Jazia's shoe budget. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's basically what this is.
Okay.
But-
Thank you.
Also,
No
do
problem.
want to clarify that when the union contracts are finally approved and everything and signed, there will be funds from the 2021 budget that will pay for the 2021 raises for those union workers. So that is part of the equation. So just to clarify that. And Deputy CEO, you wanted to?
Yeah, so thank you, Councilman Silva, because what I realized is that it's possible if you weren't attending previous meetings,
I've never missed one.
I realized I guess, really didn't go into this, but one of the things that, the previous finance director made an effort to do during 2021 is to place items, in separate lines so that it was easier to track, so that we built, thanks to that, a better 2022 budget. But what that means is that things that might have otherwise been pulled out of miscellaneous or contingency came out of real departments this year. And so that is certainly one of the reasons why you will see a lot more appropriations transfers than perhaps this body is used to. But I did want to just make sure that everyone was clear on that. That part of what happened this year really was an effort to better track how we're spending money so that we could build a really strong 2022 budget.
Thank you.
All right, and in reference to that, emergency management is also actually COVID-related receipts that even though we have, because the American Response Plan is not was not part of our ordinance for the 2021 budget, we were not able to technically apply those funds to it, but we will reimburse ourselves to it later. Like, how do we actually pay for those funds through the actual, because it's all COVID receipts, is my understanding. So how do we pay ourselves back with the COVID funds for the COVID receipts that we're reappropriating, non-COVID funds for?
Yes, absolutely. So part of the purpose for tracking our expenses as a separate COVID line is because in addition, at the time, we didn't know the American Rescue Plan was going to exist. It did not when we started 2021. The goal was really to be able to track what we were spending on COVID so that as grants became available, which we have aggressively applied for, or as other funding options, FEMA has come up, a couple different options. So that's one of the reasons why that money was set aside in an emergency management line, which had not previously been funded. And so that's why we went over budget there. It's a line that we're asking you to please fund. As far as the American Rescue Plan, what we will likely do is reimburse ourselves after council approves the appropriation of that funds.
Great, thank you for that clarification. Councilman Gwynn?
I just have to share this too. There may also be some of the COVID costs that is still buried in the various department budgets, but they have to analyze, pull out, and then identify lines of the American Rescue Fund. And there's still some adjustments left to take place. So do that part of the way.
Okay. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak on this ordinance?
Forgive me, I'll be brief. Jeffrey Jones, 602 Foss Avenue. Just as I read this, I see funds that were left over budgetarily. Was there an audit to determine where $400,000 in parks and maintenance just was it used?
It's unencumbered funds. So therefore it's not designated for any purpose at this point in time. It's for the last 2 weeks of, or last, 10 days of.
No, I appreciate that.
So there's no
I understand
audit in 2021 yet because we have to finish 2021 before we.
I guess so to be specific to my question, was there like an evaluation, just we didn't have enough employees, or we didn't maintenance the parks and playgrounds the way or we didn't change the equipment the way that we had planned?
You
I mean,
mean,
if
the question of why were they under budget?
Yes.
I believe there was a bit of that, but WCAO can respond.
Yes, the finance team calculated what a specific department would need to get them through the end of the year based on where our position was at the end of November. So after we closed November, calculating 3 pay periods in December and other anticipated one-time expenses that typically happen in December, in addition to regular monthly expenses. And that is how we determine who was under budget. So yes, we did look at the vehicle maintenance situation. Some of the things that I typically may have hit the vehicle maintenance budget were capital expenses this year and therefore did not appear in operating expenses. So that's part of what the them coming in under budget was from.
And last but not least, could you clarify what the line item miscellaneous for $236,000, what is that?
WCAO?
Of course. So miscellaneous is a section of the budget and it includes items such as the contingency line and a few other things. And so as I was explaining earlier, as we made more of an effort to really track our expenses this year, things that in the past might have come out of contingency were instead placed in professional services or in financial assistance, those types of sections of the budget. So instead of being in the miscellaneous department, they appear throughout these departments that are listed in this ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any more questions for this council on this ordinance? Does anyone else have any more questions on this ordinance 3109? Does anyone else have any more questions? All right, seeing none, I officially close the public hearing for 3109, ordinance 3109. Can we get a motion to approve ordinance number 3109?
Second.
Tunis and Lynn? Okay, are there any other questions and concerns or comments from council? For this, Councilman Bonnet?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to echo some of the comments I made at a previous meeting. This proposed ordinance has been amended on several occasions since it was initially introduced. and advertised. It's my opinion that it needs to be re-advertised before it can be adopted. It's very clear in the Home Rule Charter that an ordinance must be in its final form upon introduction. These are the words, like I'm paraphrasing, but these are words can be found in the Home Rule Charter. And once it is advertised, there is a provision in the Home Rule Charter that simply says that if amended, we need to repeat the process in so many words. I don't believe council can act on this in its form without re-advertising.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Councilman Wagner?
I don't need to repeat all of what Mr. Bonnet just said, but I think he's right. And I agree with him. And for that and other reasons that I've already expressed in other meetings, I intend to vote no on this ordinance.
Okay, anyone else from council?
Yeah, Council President, not to, yeah, okay. So we had a ruling from our solicitor basically stating that they felt it would be proper to continue, and that's why, one of the reasons I'm voting yes on this. So, and also we had an opportunity to have another meeting on the 27th, and for understandable reasons, nobody seemed that interested. So, that's all I have on that. Thank you.
Before Councilman Bonnet speaks again, is there anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, Councilman Bonnet.
Thank you again, Madam President. Not to be disagreeable, Councilman Silva, I did not get the impression that our solicitor said it was okay. I think it's my opinion that he didn't come out necessarily and say it's inappropriate to vote on this, but I took his various comments as not necessarily supporting the fact that we can act on this. I'm taking it to the point where I believe he advised us not to vote on this.
Solicitor Richardson?
Thank you, Council President Wentz. It is the position of our office that it was the administrative change. We had the conversation with the CAO's office regarding movement of 20%. That was discussed at last meeting. With this ordinance was discussed. It is specifically our opinion that it's such a small change that it was meaningless.
But it's not a small change. There's various extremely large changes in this ordinance as it stands right now from the beginning, compared to the beginning. And that 20% that was stated specifically by the solicitor that doesn't apply to this kind of a motion or this kind of an ordinance.
Councilman.
She was first.
Okay, yeah, Councilwoman Phillips.
So I
Need this.
I thought when, Treasurer Payne, when all that was going back and forth, that he said it was at 4% and that it was okay. I thought it was way under 20.
Yes, you did say it was.
Yeah. All right, so when, Solicitor Kilkenny, when, Treasurer Hayden said that, and Solicitor Kilkenny, was talking about it, he said that, it's okay unless, because we had to re-advertise it if there was a motion. And no one said anything about the motion, and like to move it to the 27th. So with such a small percentage, I believe that everything was okay, so I'm not understanding.
All right, Councilman Tunis?
Yeah, I think my colleagues have eloquently stated their positions for it or against it. I was wondering if I was able to call the question to put this to a vote.
Sure, motion to call the question. For ordinance to vote. Can you do roll call?
Councilor Tunis,
Yes.
Councilor Williams, yes. Councilor Silva,
Yes.
Councilor Bradford, yes. Councilor Wentz,
Yes.
This is just to call the question, so that the conversation.
Council Wynn,
Yes.
Council Burke,
No.
Council Sadiq,
Yes.
Council Barali,
Yes.
Council Barnett,
No.
Council Wagner.
No.
Council President Wentz.
Oh, I'm sorry, Council President Wentz. Sorry.
Yes. So we're moving.
Yeah. Just, you can vote.
Great. So, oh, let's do the vote.
Council Tunis,
This is the vote on the actual ordinance.
Yes, I'm in favor.
Council Village, Council Silver,
Yes.
Council Blackwell, Council Wynn,
Yes.
Council Burke,
No.
Council Sadiq,
Yes.
Council Barali,
No.
Council Barnett,
No.
Council Wagner,
No.
and Council President Wynn.
So I didn't actually get a chance to speak before. I'm actually gonna vote no because I don't like the taking of funds from the fire department. So I'm a no vote. So it's 6 yes and 5. So the ordinance passes.
That was close.
Okay, so, agenda, here we go. All right, so next up, we have a public hearing on ordinance number 3110. Can we get a reading on this ordinance?
Yes, this is, section, this is the ordinance of the Darby Township, amending and providing for a rebate of fees set forth in chapter 461 solid waste, section 19, refuse collection fees, providing for repealer and severability clause. Section 1, section 461.18, cap A1 shall be struck in its entirety and replaced with the owner of a residential building or tenant obligated by the lease agreement to pay refuse collection charge is eligible for a refuse fee rebate of $100, provided the following conditions are met. A, applicants must qualify under the Pennsylvania property tax or rent rebate program, PA 1000. Applicants must present proof of payment indicating the amount received from the PA 1000 program. And C, the township has confirmed that the applicant has paid the refuse fee for the current year. This is section 2, which is the repealer clause, and the severability clause in this ordinance shall be effective immediately. So it needs to. Sorry.
Great, thank you. At this point, I'd kind of like to open a public hearing of ordinance number 3110. The public hearing is now open. If anyone from the audience have any questions or concerns or comments they'd like to make to this, in this public hearing, please come forward, state your name and your address. Anyone from the public like to speak on this ordinance? Or anyone from the public that would like to speak on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, this public hearing is officially closed. And we get a motion to approve ordinance 3110.
Motion.
Yes, can we get a second? Phillips? Are there any questions or concerns on this ordinance? Okay. All right, can we get a roll call vote?
Council Tunis,
Yes.
Council Village, yes, Council Silver,
Yes.
Council Blackwell. Yes. Council Wynn,
Yes.
Council Burke,
Yes.
Council Sadiq,
Yes.
Council Barali,
Yes.
Council Barnett,
Yes.
Council Wagner,
Yes.
and Council President.
Yes. Yay. See, we do agree on something. We often do. Great, so that's the unanimous. Ordinance moves forward. Okay, great. So next up, we have acknowledgement and congratulations for the retirement of Councilman Donald Barnett, Councilman Thomas Wagner, and Councilman Robert Quinn Jr. for their tenure on Upper Darby Township Council. I'd just like to start off by saying, it has been my honor as to be council president over the past 2 years to work with you guys, all council members in this role. And under my leadership, we were able to adjust how ordinances and resolutions were introduced, allowing council and residents to have a voice on those ordinances and resolutions, which all council members, especially Councilman Bonnet, Wagner, and Quinn, have contributed, powering very important sentences that have improved those ordinances and resolutions. And quite frankly, 31-110 is an example of one of those ordinances where your words of wisdom were greatly appreciated and agreed with by all of council, and they were added to it. 1 second, can I just finish? And so I just wanted to say that we greatly appreciate all that you've done over your years of service of council, and we hope that you will continue to share those words of wisdom with us in the future. Just wanted to point out how important your role has been in making the last 2 years the way they are. And we greatly appreciate the work that you've done. And I know you have some things you want to say, and there are council members that would like to speak about you as well. And then we also have some things for you down front. So go ahead, Councilman Tunis, I see you on the queue, and Councilman Silva as well.
Yeah, I want to congratulate the gentleman in retirement here, and I just wanted to start with just sharing some things I learned from each individual as they exit corporate assignments. A much better, easier Wednesday nights. I want to start with Councilman Quinn. I want to thank you for your service as a young man going up to the 7th district, coming in hot and fiery on council. I had to do a lot of learning, and I've done a lot of research, and some of the things I learned from you is to thoroughly read through these ordinances, check the grammar. It could be a homophone or whatever, but just make sure it makes sense for the average person. And that's something I really try to get better on. I commend you for that. I thank you for your service. Thank you. Councilman Wagner, we've had a lot of contentious debates, and I came in really hot, like I said, and fiery and trying to be a voice for my residents. What I learned with our dealings is, like the mayor said, your sense of humor and always being civil. I remember when our township was hit hard by looting in the summer of 2020. And you came out to Councilman Sadiq's district and I and walked through the seat of aftermath. That meant a lot to me, being that you're on the side of the township, what you displayed to me that day is bigger than just your district for everyone. And we often joke about your really nice blazers that I'm hoping you need some for me. But I've learned a lot of how to be very civil with people that may be on the opposite aisle of you. And just know that if the debate ends after the ordinance is passed or shopping, and then we can move forward. That's something I hope to carry into as I serve, and you truly made me a better public servant.
Thank you very much.
And Councilman Barnett, we've also had a lot of contentious debates, but you taught me a lot about being really prepared for a meeting and being poised, and there's ways to get your points across without yelling or being rude to other council members. And just like Councilman Wagner, you also own a lot of nice blazers. And you can leave. You can leave for the young councilman in the 7th. And thank you for your service, and I learned a lot from you. And as a 24-year-old council member, I think I may be able to break your record. And
I wish you luck.
And I just wanted to congratulate Councilman-elect Andrew Heyman, Councilman-elect Brian Drusko, who I'm super excited to serve with, so I won't be the youngest person on council anymore. And Councilwoman-elect Megan Wagner. The gentlemen here have like big shoes, and I would encourage you guys to reach out to them if you ever need advice. I certainly will, and I just want to say thank you. I'm super excited for the future.
Thank you very, very much.
Councilman.
Thank you.
Ursula.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say too, like having been here a little bit and not on council, but like having come here, since like '09 or whatever, and I got to like kind of see you guys from that side. I'm really been honored to have the chance to have met with you guys and got to know you more as people. Tom, you are like one of the funniest people I think I've ever met. So it's not on the Tom singers, they just catch you completely off guard and you're just like, "Ooh, okay." But, and Don, you are, as the mayor said, one of the coolest cucumbers I think I've ever met in my entire life. So you're just, I don't know how you do it, but you never seem to get riled up about anything, which is something maybe you can help.
You have to talk to my wife.
But it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And Bob, well, I've known you for a lot longer, but it's always been a privilege. And really, you set the bar for me as far as just being honorable, being decent, and just like getting down and helping your community. You've been involved for a long time, and I've known that too. I've been just like going with you and campaigning and finding out like how deep your ties run here in Upper Darby Township, and I hope that doesn't end tonight. So thank you.
Councilman Boone. So thank you, Councilman Wynn, for sitting next to me for a little while. Thank you for your service. What I learned from you also is, like Councilman Coon said, is to check every single document and make sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed. So I thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for serving with me on the different committees. So, I think you have a little bit of a dry lip. You better say how can you, I think you really do. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Councilman Wagner, yeah, you funny. You funny. So, and I thank you that you were so committed to, not only just to your district, but to all of Darby. So I thank you for that. And it's a pleasure serving with you. Councilman Wagner, what can I say that? You do have a track record. I appreciate that. And I thank you for, again, for being so concerned about your constituents as well. And people really care about you because you fight hard for them. So I appreciate that. And I hope to continue to do that as well. So thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
And you're welcome. I just want to thank, I'm going to mess up your last name, so I'm not going to say it. Brian, as you come in, and I'm looking forward to working with you too, and Councilman Megan and Andrew Hayden. So thank you for your service, and I'm sure I'll see you around.
Councilman Speak.
It was my pleasure to work with my very good friend, Mr. Don Moyen, Tom Wagner, and Bob Gwynn, all three of you. Since I was elected 2016, I actually learned a lot. It was my first time and first generation, I can say, the Asian American Muslim community in this township. And I really learned a lot, and I will apply whatever I learned from you guys in my council as long as I am here. And I wish a good luck all the time, all of you. And special thanks to Bob Gwynn. When every meeting he had some catching of the typo error, S and some other things is missing. And I also called him a lot, some suggestion, and I am very, very appreciative to you that because of the Our Land project, you were there and sitting with that constituent and do all this thing. What I mean to say, when we're here at the council, we don't see the issue of Republican and Democrat. It's the issue of the community, which we did over here. We made some Republican, some Democrat. When the job come as a council person, we did it like as a community service. And with that, I wish you good luck. Anybody stay safe, stay healthy, and keep doing, even you are the council, still you can do some community service and serve the community without the councilman. Thank you, my friend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Blackwell is next, and then Rob.
So, As we have all heard from all the other fellow council, that being a council is not easy. We have a lot to learn. You guys have taught us all a lot in different perspectives and in different ways and manners. I sit beside old Blue Eyes here, trust me, sometimes I have to stop myself from laughing all the time. It's quite interesting sitting right here beside him because I feel his energy. I'm the closest here, and we've sat here, and I appreciate Councilman Wagner, as he already knows as well. Thank you for all the just service that you've done, and we welcome your daughter to come aboard as well, family legacy, and Councilman Bob, you've been just absolutely fantastic and wonderful. You've always supported me, you've supported council, you've supported the mayor, and you've done everything that you can do for this council and for the township of Upper Darby. Councilman Burnett, I do thank you. You've just sat there with wisdom, almost like a lord of a court. Sometimes I want to say prince, queen, council. You've done it all. You've set employees, grace, and we do thank you for your service, all of you. We appreciate you. And let the township of Upper Darby be grateful that we have you, and I am grateful to serve with you as well.
Thank you, Dana.
And Councilwoman Brown.
Bob, I want to thank you for all the years that you have served and for the 2 years that I've served, 2 terms I served with you by your side. You've done great work for your constituents, and I know all the volunteer work you do on the side. I wish you nothing but the best of luck and enjoy with your family.
Thank you.
Tom and Don, I don't know what to say. I'll probably cry and I don't want to, but I thank you both for being my mentor, teaching me everything that I did know. It was hard, and you guys guided me along. I love you both dearly. I'm sure Donna and Peggy will be thrilled to have you home. I will miss you. I love you both, and I wish you nothing but happiness.
Thank you very much.
so much.
Great, thank you. And I just want to point out, I will miss Grammar King, Councilman Gwynn. You definitely add a lot to our council, and you led our committees and have great leadership. We greatly appreciate you and your concern for the entire township. Councilman Bennett, you are a wealth of knowledge, especially in the zoning realm, and greatly appreciate all that you've contributed in all of all the realms, but zoning specifically. Seeing you at the last zoning meeting, you were citing all the codes. You were right on target, and I was honored to be able to stand up and support your vision in reference to what you were saying. And Councilman Wagner, you are also a wealth of knowledge. You bring a lot of different knowledge of a variety of different things to the to council, and we appreciate you greatly. And I really do hope that you guys will come back and help us in our future meetings and so forth, and continue to stay involved.
Thank you.
And that being said, we have some things for you. I was able to get not all the departments, but members of our township employees, the police department and fire department got a chance to sign, and council got a chance to sign cards for you. And we have some stuff for you on the front, down the front. So come down, and also if you can bring your plaques with you, because council would love to get a photo with you and the mayor and your plaques as well. So come on down.
Should we adjourn?
Oh.
I was trying to make sure.
Hope you guys are kind of fun for country.
Oh.
Like these.
No, I haven't done a motion yet. I'm not made a motion yet.
Laura, thank you very much.
Yes, there is, so, that is yours.
That's great.
Councilman, this is yours.
Council President, should we adjourn or are we still streaming? Council President,
Yes.
are we still streaming or should we?
We are
adjourn?
still streaming, so I just wanted to, we just get all of council together with our council members that are leaving with their packs. And we'd like to get a photo
Lisa, come on in.
for, yes, come on, please. Come on, everybody in, council members in.
I want to see Alexis in
We're
this
back
too.
at it.
She's kind of like an
Come on.
addendum.
Yes.
I know.
I think they need a wide angle lens.
Oh, yeah. Arrogant. Yeah, you want it in the middle or?
Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, Rose.
She's her.
He's brilliant.
I like fries.
Okay, Chris.
You can't tell the smile.
Sorry, I'm gonna make you all stay. Okay.
Please do.
I'll sell you this. Thank you. How are you, sir?
Thank you.
Hey, Vince, keep smiling.
So, I just wanted to, we have some cupcakes, we have some buns that I made, it's not pretty, but it tastes really good, so just preface that. So, can we get one more motion? Can we have a motion to adjourn? All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, say your name. Ayes have it. Thank you. All right. So. All right.